Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday. It's Tuesday. So we're going to work on page 1 today of the Bellatrix Rising comic. I've finished putting together all of the things that I think I need. I will give the nude maquette warning that we will have nude maquettes, but you can live with those, I think. So we will go on ahead and just put those over here. And we will start working with our first scene. So I've already kind of laid out the scene. We've got Chang and Jen sitting in their respective chairs. Hello, Brent. We will switch over to the control now. Well, I've got you can see we've got now maquettes sitting in their respective locations. And we've got nudes. So we're going to have to do some work on this because this has just been finished. One of them is that Jen has an eye target, but I think it's over here somewhere. I'm not even sure where the eye target went. So we'll have to go fetch her eye target. I'm going to have to fix the eye targets and have to figure where the heck they are. There they are. Because she needs to be looking. Now the eye target is a thing which we can use. Yeah, see, it's not even in the room. To move their eyes. The maquette's eyes. I don't think they're even in the room. There we go. There we go. So the maquette's really, she needs to be looking at Chang and not outside the room. It's really hard to move things in 3D space because you're only looking at one aspect of the 3D object. There we go. There. That's part of our problem, is that it was way too low. If anybody's offended by naked maquettes, then, well, there's that. Okay, so from this side, I can line up the eyes to the actual eyes themselves. And this is important because, weirdly, we sense any small deviation from this. We're really good at that as people. So we can sense that the eyes aren't aligned right. And one of the things I use maquettes for is to align eyes, because that's something that one pixel off and you've really got it confused. So now she actually is looking correctly, and we can now twist her head so that she's, there we go, and tilt her head down so that she looks like she's a little bit more concerned. There we go. Let's see here. What do we have? So You can see that when I twist her head now, her eyes still track that eye target. I am kind of getting worried here. Doesn't look like her eyes are actually tracking the eye target. Constraints to the eye target, okay. Constraints to the eye target. Yeah. Even though the constraints are in there, it looks like the actual thing isn't working like it's supposed to, which is a problem. Because that means that her eyes are on a different, either they've been moved or just saving and reloading has caused it to be a problem. Sometimes that happens. I can control her eyes this way through the manual control unit. And considering that all the way to the right is really extreme and all the way to the left looks like it's in the middle, I think we've got something. It's tracking something. I just don't know what it's tracking. So right eye, oh, it has an adjustment to it that shouldn't be done. This is going to be uncomfortable. Oh, we can't actually change it. Okay, so it's set for this correct place, right? Why is it she's not looking at the eye target? And now we're locked. Uh-oh. We've locked up the system. Okay. Oh, we haven't locked up the system. It brought up a pop-up in a different monitor. Okay, Jen's eye target, right? That's correct. Left eye. Also Jen's eye target. Okay. Why aren't you actually tracking that? It's not tracking it. She should be tracking. Instead, she's looking over here. What do you have on your desk? Why are you writing this stuff on your desk? Okay. This is an issue because we're having tracking problems with the eye target. Okay. Now we will adjust Chang's eye target to be correct. And maybe this is just a matter of save and reload. Yep, Chang looks like she's not impressed. But she should be. That's fine. All right. It'd be okay for you to be up there, George, if you didn't knock everything off. So we're going to save this scene. I'm going to reload it. And that way we can take a better look. Cancel. There we go. I'm going to take a better look at this. I'm reloading DAZ Studio. Or I'm not. I don't know. It hasn't seemed to start yet. Well, I'm feeling like it didn't launch. I give it a few minutes to try to get up there and launch, but then I'm like, well, don't think it did. I'm having sort of that problem now. One of the other things that did happen, news, I did manage to, and you can't see it as easily here, but I did manage to fix my font. See the distance between these two and the distance between these two. I managed to find a font editor and edited my font. So the Guy Serious font now is Serious. So that's good. Okay, let's see. We've reloaded the scene. She's still looking over into the corner and not at her eye target. This isn't a positive in my world. Why is she not looking at her eye target? Mm-hmm. Well, I will delete and rebuild her eye target then. Or the eye target has moved. That's weirder than it needs to be. Now she's looking at her eye target correctly. The eye target was just clearly in a different spot. There we go. Because now if we move her eye target, you can see her eyes move. So depending on where we've moved her eye target to, which should right now be pretty much on top of Chang's head. Now, here we go. There. Right in the middle of her, like, forehead. I don't know anybody who looks into people's foreheads. Right? I always feel like people look straight into one eye or the other. Which must be very disorienting. Is her eye target tied to her head? Oh, that's our problem. The eye target is tied to her head. It needs to be tied to her body. So it only moves with her body instead of moving with her head. That's part of our issue. See, now we're operating correctly. SSD is best. Yes, I know, but that wasn't an SSD error. So I actually am coming up to the point where I think I can afford another 32 gigabyte stick and put it into slot 3 and an SSD for my C drive. And I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. But the problem that I've got is that all of the pros like you and the guys at the computer store are saying it's your hard drive. You need an SSD. Except that the computer was running relatively fast back last July. I mean, it took still 3 or 4 minutes to load, but it didn't take 11, you know? So there's something has installed a ton of crap into my startup folder, or I am running some process, or something is hanging out and eating up all of my processor. And that's really what I'm after. I've run virus checks. There's no viruses. I've run even adware. There's no ads stuck to my computer. I'm also not really the kind of person to go out to websites that would get me viruses. So it's kind of one of those things. The problem that I've got is it's something legit. It's either Outlook or it's Creative Cloud or it's OneDrive or something legit is eating up all of my resources. That's the problem. All right. we've got her lined up correctly. Let's save the scene. Right now, we're going to be from about here-ish, right? And here's about what I want to be from here, right about here. And don't worry about missing Geek Tank. All the updates are done, so we are completely up to date. It's got the latest version of Windows on it. I mean, it's running whatever that is, 10.10.10.10.10 or whatever. I have no idea. It doesn't really matter. Okay, real quickly here, we're going to go to our render settings and make sure that we're doing 3000 by 2250. That's about right. That's 4 by 3. It's huge, but it's the 3D Delight, so I'm not that worried. And we'll hit the render button. Now this chugs my computer down, as it should. Rendering, that's completely legit. So we save it as PP1 for page 001 because we might be at 100. So we and panel 1, 2, 3, 4, panel 4. Indeed. Okay. Now that we've done that, let's go back over here and let's see what this looks like. We've got this bottom panel, which is what we're going to be working in today. Right? That's this guy. Right? So we're going to open desktop. We're going to look at this bottom panel. Okay, we're going to take all and copy, and we're going to bring it into this fourth panel right here. It's going to need to be adjusted or moved. Into the correct position, and then we can resize to right here. Now, one of the things that we've got to remember is that we're not keeping, we're going to draw over the people. And so what I will often do, because I don't want to have to be limited to the people, if you do it this way, you're limited. So what I'll do is I will turn off. Why is Jen's hair still a thing? Oh, for crying out loud. You'd think this would be a thing we wouldn't see, but apparently it's a thing we see still. Okay. Then we render it again. And this is 4A. Right? So we'll take this, and then we'll also bring in not just panel 4, do not save, but open, and we'll bring in 4A. 4A doesn't have anything specific in it, just the room itself, right? And what we have not tried to do is figure out how to line this stuff up. Okay. And this allows us to have just the black and white line work in here. And I'll actually take, because I'm noticing the bed's gray, And we're going to take this and we are going to tonal correction. We're going to take a level correction on this. It's going to bring up the whites. Are you not working for me today? Am I selecting the wrong layer? No, I'm not. Oh well, we'll come fix it later. That's not what I'm after. Okay, so inside here, we're going to do this and flip this. And then we're going to take this guy and make sure that he's lined up before we draw in any of the lines. Okay. This means that I can do a couple of things. One, if I don't like exactly where these characters are posed, I can change it. I can actually manually alter the pose here in this format if I want. But first things first, we're going to add a layer. We're going to not add a layer, right? And then we're going to add another layer. This layer then is going to be all white. And then down just a little bit. And this is going to be our ink layer. Okay. I'm going to go in here with my crow quill. And we're going to start talking about stuff. Now, this is actually probably going to be more like my rough layer. I'm going to decide what I want to do here. She's in a dress uniform, so we don't need to worry about some of these other stripes out here. We just put her like this in her normal dress. Now we're going to also think about, like, how does this look to this relative to that? Are we at the same pin stroke and things like that, which we are. I'm following the contour of the chair. And she actually she's wearing her dress uniform. So these are not actual Class A's. They are pseudo Class A's. They're still viable for, it's when you do any formal function of any sort. But she's sitting very straight. And this line does follow like so. Undo. Undo. There we go. All right. Lines like this don't actually follow her leg because, of course, the maquette isn't wearing any clothes, but she is. So because of that, this line needs to be kind of broken up. just following the contour of her arms. There we go. She has both of her hands in her lap, and that's what we're doing here, is kind of adding that in here. Now the maquette had her hands through her legs, so we're going to have to make a correction on that, but that's okay. Jen is an older woman, in theory. They can choose any look they want, but I noticed that when I made the maquette normal woman sized, it looked plus sized, and I thought that was fascinating and left it because I think that's kind of cool. But it was interesting that when you're doing manga, they look plus sized when they're normal scaled. Indicates a lot of what manga has done to change sort of our perception of things. Now, the problem with this crow quill is as soon as you press down, all right. I believe no matter which way she looks at it, she's a lieutenant. She's gotten her promotion. 1 dot would be ensign, stripe would be lieutenant junior grade, so she's got a dot. Because that would make her lieutenant, not Lieutenant JG. There we go. Despite what the maquette says, I'm not going to, she's got her hair up. It's only this front part that is loose and free. So we're going to just do that. And I'm also having a hard time seeing up here, so we're going to real quickly do tonal correction and do luminosity, which isn't helping us at all. Okay. Do tonal correction, new brightness contrast. And that's kind of what we need, is a little bit more brightness contrast, because I can't see all the details. And while we're at it, make sure that we have brought up some of the details of Chang. There we go. Because she's kind of weirdly shaped over here too. Okay, that'll work. In the end, she's smiling. The maquette was not. So if you think about the way that contour of the cheek is going, sleeping Chang, or sleepy Chang, I guess she is, because she's awake, but only because her buddy here just woke her up. She's not ecstatic about it. There we go. Now, if we pull this out, what we get is more of this, which looks good. That looks solid. So I'm not unhappy with that. In a minute, what we will do, I'm going to make sure that we're sealed up, like all of these things here, possibly that any kind of leaks that could happen will be sealed up. And once we do, then I can select all around her like this. And I'll take everything around her, and I can go to this layer, bring this up to 100%, and then hit delete, and you get her on top of the actual set. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to put Chang in first, right? So let's do that. She's sealed, so I don't need to worry about her anymore. We do need to bring this back down. Go over here. Bring on the Ming. Okay. Chang is, first of all, she's under a blanket. So we know that much. Not sure how much of a blanket she's under. I didn't see much of a blanket up here. We have her arms kind of going like this, right? This here and this here. So she's definitely covering some of her body with a blanket. So let's do another layer, because there's an infinite number of layers that we can use here. And we'll use this layer at, I don't know, 50%. This is like blue lining. Okay, so this is very similar to blue lining. I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to kind of work with my study of where a blanket would be, right? Because if we have a blanket kind of going like so, we can have the blanket down like this, maybe even covering some of her legs like so, coming out and then going down like this, going across here. And it gives kind of this effect of just kind of getting the idea of this blanket kind of being here. She is completely bonked out, discombobulated. So she was not, I wouldn't consider her like entirely with it or together when she went to bed. So I wouldn't consider that she's got a sheet or anything like that, because I figure she probably just didn't do the things right. For those of us that are not artists, okay, blue lining is a technique you've seen me use before, where I use actual blue ink. Back in the day, when we used real copiers and things like that, we would take a special color of blue. It's a shade of blue, and I usually have a pack of it right here, right? This is a special shade of blue lead. These are colored, but yeah, it's blue. They're already are. This guy is empty, but it's because it's all loaded in my pen. The blue lead, this non-photo blue is what it's called. This blue lead will not photocopy. So you can sketch all day long and put all the sketches in, and then once you line it with the black ink, the blue lead won't photocopy in a photocopier. So only the black ink photocopies, and you get what looks like you just erased all of your lines. Your underdrawing is what they call this. And this is exactly what this is. This is called an underdrawing. So Anyway, usually I actually will flip the widget over here to blue and make it blue and then draw in blue. But I realized that I can achieve the same goal by just making this. The other benefit to blue lining is if you use a black pen to sketch and then you try to use a black pen to trace over it, you lose the black ink in the sketch. There's black lines, and then you're adding another black line in there, and you won't be able to see it. So we use the blue lines so that when we put the ink in, the ink stands out. So even when we do digital versions like this, we'll still do black line or blue lines underneath it because then it stands out. So that's the point. So yeah, there you go. That's blue lining. I'm going to go on up here. We're going to go into a very close shot here so that we can get in on this face. Right here. Let's bring that brush down. Right, because this is going to become one of those things where... So when we're on this main layer, it's not... and this is where it was important for me to take the maquette and line the eyes up, because this close, this zoomed in, I can't easily tell whether she's looking at over here or not because I'm too close, right? So in order to make this work easily, this is another one of those where the maquettes make things fast and easy. Had I done this freehand, I would be zooming out, zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, zooming out, zooming in, because I'd have to keep zooming out to make sure that the eye pupils are lined up, and then zoom in to draw the pupils, then zoom out to go, oh crap, I've added one too many, and then zoom in, and then zoom out, and then zoom in. So that's why she's saying here, I hate you. So I'm going to give her eyebrows, I'm going to furrow her brows because she's saying, I hate you. Right? So and since she's not actually, the maquette wasn't opening her mouth, I will open her mouth. And she says, I hate you. Right? Now, we don't want to change her hair from where it was before. So we'll zoom out for a hair check here. We can also look over here. No. We have learned something new. Don't mess with this. Oh God. There we go. Okay. Hair, we've got a little hair right here. Got a strand of hair right by her eyebrow. So we're going to do a mimic of that. So we've got a hair, it's kind of going like this. And this is going like that. And her ear will stick up like that because her ear sticks up. Undo. There we go. Shoulder. So the shoulder moves forward to the shoulder bone, the collarbone. So I'm going to go ahead and describe that. And then she's got a pillow here. She's laying on. most of her hair is going to be behind her like this. And kind of frazzled. All right, so she's going to have her pillow like this with stitching across it like that. And then her hand is up here. And this is where it's really useful to have had the maquette, because it's very difficult to draw hands to begin with, but to draw hands at weird angles like this is even worse. And for this hand, the hand went through the bed, so I'm going to move it underneath the blanket there. I'm going to put the blanket like this. There we go. Elbow. The maquettes don't do elbows right, so I always have to correct the elbow, which isn't a big deal. I think as time has gone on, Poser and Daz Studio have tried very hard to correct the weirdness of the maquettes so that they're not as strange. Right. And then we'll do a little bit like this. And this guy can end here. And this can kind of go that way. You know, we'll do this one. There. I don't know if I really particularly care for this. It looks weirder than it needs to look. And she had a rough night, full of drinking and doing probably things that she won't remember in the morning, generally speaking. So it's morning and she doesn't remember. All right, so just bring her hair around like that. Maybe we'll have some of her hair kind of going over her neck like this. Mornings are not the world's best for people. People don't do well in the mornings, and you know that. All right. Now we'll head down here. We've got sort of the blanket that we're going to be dealing with. We're going to kind of come up like this. And then there. We got her foot, which we don't need to put all the detail into the feet, even though this foot is pretty close to us. We'll be gentle and ginger to it. Right. There we go. And then she's laying on this blanket. All right. Crossing it down. Ooh. And not what we want to do, because that's not the way that works. So I want to do this. Here we go. And then there we go. And then there we go. Like that. And this will become this fold right here. And this will become that fold right there. And this becomes this fold. Missing music. Suddenly realizing we're not listening to music. It's just me and my fan. It's like a fan club. Now that we've added this, I'm going to take out the underdrawing because it's just going to confuse things. But if we also take now this out, you can see where we are art-wise. Right? It actually looks pretty solid. On your OnlyFans page. That's right, guys. If you want to see more nudity, go to the OnlyFans page. No, I'm just kidding. There's kind of thinking that, of course, this is, here we are right now, kind of working this particular page. And I'm realizing she's definitely, like, I'm trying to decide whether we should just rip the bandage off. You know what I mean? Just kind of get used to it right now. There we go. Rip the bandage off. There. Now, should she have maybe more blanket behind her? She should. Like right here. You're telling my wife, you know what? That's not going to help. Just saying. I'm not worried about my wife. I'm worried about Facebook deciding this is like completely inappropriate or something. And I'm like, okay. Facebook doesn't have people who sleep in the nude, obviously. Nobody in Facebook's world sleeps in the nude. Let's see how many holes we have. Oh, hey. None. There. I've gotten good at this. It's like I know what I'm doing. God. Okay. There. Now we don't need this frame at all. We don't need the underdrawing anymore. It can go away. right? I don't think they do either. And it's all good. The only thing is, I do want to do layer 7. This needs to be more of a, yeah, like that. Let me come back around, just kind of cut through here a little. Because this is a little bit weird. The maquette wasn't as happy as it looks. So we're going ahead and just, that's all right. You're always adjusting for the maquette. If you use maquettes for this kind of stuff, which I do because you can see we've got the page ready to go in less than one show. So
It's time to take a quick break.
We've got a moment here where we've got all of this working. We still have to fix the problem that we're running into. Like, we have a couple of problems we're going to have to fix. One, I updated the font. So we're going to have to go and fix that. But for right now, first, everybody stand up. You have to stand up. Let's take a break. Oh my God. We'll stretch. Go for a walk. We'll look outside. Here's all we can do. What do we look? And then we return. Stretch with Guy, we old. Yes, it's true. The fires are pretty brutal. We've had a couple of days with, it looked like fog. It was so brutal. And I've been coughing and my eyes have been watering and I've been sneezing. And it's like having allergies, but, all the rough stuff. So, anyway. Okay, so one of the things that we will look at when we get back onto this page, and we'll look at the page here, one of the things we'll look at is, like, I'm seeing a lot of, especially right through here, and especially if I look at it up here on this monitor, it's a little thin. So a trick that I often do is this. I'll take the white underneath it. This is that white that we're using to backlight it. And I'll just go up here. And we will say, well, we're going to make a selection first. So we'll make a selection. Work. Once we do, we can go up to Edit, Outline Selection. We can just add a little bit of it. So we're going to draw on the outside. And we're going to do, 10. Let's say. And what that'll do is it gives sort of a hard line around the outside. 10 might have been too much. So I'm going to back off. Right. Then we're going to outline the selection again. This time we'll do 5. Do half of it. right? I'll take a look at that. Right, that looks a little bit better, but I'm even going to think that maybe even 3 might be better for this. Right? So we'll outline selection, and let's just do 3. Gives enough that it thickens up some of the lines, just enough that we can read it. So it's still readable, but it's not a lot that it actually disrupts the actual artwork in any way. Right? We can see her face just fine. We can see the lines of her body just fine. But they also now sort of match the set. Now, we're going to have to do a few things to the set itself. So we're going to do E, and that flattens this all down into one picture. So this is now all one frame. Now let's fix some of the problems in this frame, because we have a few problems that come from inherent from the 3D model. This is one here, so we're going to just go through here and just clean it up like this. Maybe not that though. We're going to just, I don't like this bump. I know I was trying to go for something, but I didn't do it, so it's all right. But I do like this, so we'll keep that. Right. We'll just go through and all we're doing is just making it look like it was hand drawn anyway, and it was. It just wasn't hand drawn today, right? And in general, any variations on this theme work to our advantage. You know, if it's slightly bonkers or out of line or whatever, it just makes it look like it was hand drawn. So any little divots like that will work to our advantage and stuff. All right. The bed's fixed. A couple of other things. The back of the nightstand really could stand to be just a little bit thicker. Like that. And so could the top. And we'll just kind of make this work. This is a cool little inset that works. Isn't that tracing? You're funny. And like the desk up here, it clearly has lost its top. Ha, it's topless. The desk is topless. I'm easily entertained. And it's a little clear that this is not lined up perfectly. So we're just going to go through and do that. And all we're doing is just little cleanups here and there, right? That could be useful. Make the desk look like a desk. Noticing this didn't clean up, so it didn't actually do perfect, did it? That's okay. This is where we go through and just, clean up a little. This is taking a long time, only because this is the first time I've done it in literally years. So this is our first legit page of Bellatrix Rising, and I'm making sure that every last detail is correct. Right? So there we go. Making sure that's straight, making sure that's straight. Looks like the lighting unit at the top here could probably stand to have a line. Like so. Right. There we go. Now I just need to figure out how to fix the frame, because the frame has like no real line to it. Man. So we're going to take this guy, and we have to delete him now because the text bubbles, with me changing everything over, all the text changed. So that's okay. It's not a major problem, but it is still an issue we kind of need to think about. The last thing we're going to do down here on this frame, this bottom frame, is I'm going to try a trick. And let's see if this works. Okay. We can take, in the bubbles, we could take a flash, right? And do a flash pattern like this, or a flash pattern like this, and just run it like so. That's a fascinating concept thought process. Undo, like a sea urchin flash, right? Undo, undo. Woo! I made it mad. I made it so mad it dumped the stream. I think that's even funnier. Maybe 20,000 of these is probably bad. There we go. I just think it's funny that it got so mad it dumped the stream, literally. Okay. I'm going to start way over here because she is the source of the light. Right? That's not what I wanted. There we go. We're closer. You know, I'm working this so hard, and I really shouldn't. What I should do is just go over here and look at effects, because I've got a lot of effects that I can put in here. Right? So let's take a look at what we've got under effects. Look at these vortices. See, here's what we're looking for. This is exactly what we're looking for right there. Yes, you can download it. Well, I'm glad you can still see me and hear me. There. Now, it has, of course, naturally decided not to put itself in the correct frame, which is definitely an issue. It needs to be there. Yeah. Nope, 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 nope. Uh-oh. It never auto-selects until I don't want it to actually auto-select. Then it auto-selects. Right. And here's what we're doing. Like this. Then we're going to take you, and make a new layer, which is you. Okay. Oh no, we cannot see her. Now we can see her. Right. And this is how we make this work. It's not bad. It's truly, truly not bad. It could be a whole lot worse. Right, so. And we still can move this over a bit if we need to really just indicate, just push the point in. Right? She's shining. She's shining. All right, look at us. Look at us proceeding well. All right. So now the next thing is we'll do one more check on this. We want to make sure we're doing checks on every step, which we won't normally do. But this is sort of what we're looking at with the actual page when in print, right? Now we need to fix some of the other problems we have here. Like, why are the frames weird? What caused the frames to be in a weird spot? Right? Because these frames are now really bonked. Is it under frame control? Because they need to be 18 by default. So, layer. All good monitors build up static, and they always seem to have gunk on them. So I'm sitting here going, gosh, my monitor sure is dirty. It's dirty. It's gathered all the dust. All right. I may actually do a different trick here as well. This flash of light, I may duplicate it and make this version wider. So that you can see Chang in it. And then instead of having it at 50%, oh, I hate you. You've decided to duplicate. You decided to be that. Never mind. Well, there's that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do instead. This is the extent of what I can do with this. What I will do is on each of these existing frames, take that and go up to 100, take that and go up to 100. I'm going to add a new frame, add a new layer. Nope. We'll make this 50% too. And then do the same thing here. Make this like that. Then we're going to do the tricks. Here we go. We might even be able to take just a soft eraser and just kind of highlight the areas there. No, that just doesn't look right, does it now? Boy. Stop hitting control. It's hitting control all the time. See you tomorrow. Bye, Brent. It's good to see you. There we go. I like that a little bit better. Okay. Maybe not her nails, though. So now I'm kind of pondering what I'm doing here with this. So kind of not sure how much I like it, how much I don't like it. I'm not sure. This is one of those, the great thing about this is I don't have to worry about it right now. Right, I can let it sit and we can worry about it in a bit. But let's go ahead and bring up the script right here. And even though it is completely and totally nominal, we're going to go ahead and take this. We're going to take the balloon pen. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the problem we had yesterday when we did this. Undo. Should be on top of all of the frames. There. Now on top of this frame is where we're going to take the balloon pen. Okay. We're going to go this. Go this. Don't say I don't try to make this not weird. Oh, the weird. There's a lot of weird. And if you recall from I guess we should say Friday's show, I don't know. I am intentionally making sort of weird bubbles because I want people to feel slightly uncomfortable. There we go. next one is here. There. Even though it's simple, always. There we go. I'm going to put tails on this because she's got a tail. Orphaning stuff here. There we go. And now, since we're not as asleep, I can use the actual rounded balloons, like the ellipse balloon here, and just go like this. Except that the ellipse balloon clearly isn't rigged the same way as the other one is. Right. Use the balloon pen for her to still say, I hate you. Okay, and as before, we'll make sure that the text in here all right. There we go. Now we take the white line out, and this is what we've got for a page. Alrighty, look at that, guys. I have a page. The only thing that's bothering me is I don't have 18-point borders on this, which really, really, really bothers me. I need my 18-point borders. I'm not sure how to make that work. Except maybe to select the frame. That won't work. I'm just now realizing I think this is 13. It is. Damn it. It's so hard to get this to... This 16 is going to have to cut it because I think that's all we got in that bubble, but... There we go. Now I'm trying to figure out what caused the frames to go wonky, and I wonder if I can fix the frames. So we're going to, forgive me, do a Google search. I hate doing Google searches with you guys online and waiting, but Clip Studio Paint frame border size. How to change the border thickness. Once you rasterize this, this can be edited easily. Pick Object tool. Select the layer which contains your balloons. So the Object tool. Let's see here, which one's the Object tool? Is it an object tool? Where is the object tool? It's the pen. Decoration. Where is the object tool? Do I not have the object tool? Well, let's see. So that's the arrow and the, okay, I see. That's this guy, so he's under here, object tool. Dang it. I'm not seeing it select the actual layer, though. It doesn't seem to be the right one. So, object tool. No, that's the right tool. Okay. Got the right tool here. Object, U, and then maybe it's, I don't know, maybe here? Because it looks like we've got, it's like infinitely tiny, yeah, we have infinitely tiny lines. Okay, we didn't do the right thing. Okay, if anybody out there has any ideas what to do with how to make this work, because I'm having a hard time making this work. I assume I can't select outside these tools. Well, I guess I can. Like I could do this. This is on the frame, right? Outline selection. Make it 18. And it's white. Let's try that again. Outline selection, make it 18, and it's black. There we go. That could be far worse, but that'll work. So makes it 18, which is the lines that we want on these. So we're looking at frame 4. Frame 4 is complete. So it's frame 5. We'll do the same thing. It works. You know what? If it works, outline selection. There we go. Select. Who knew, right? And that's frame 5 and frame 1. Is it thicker if it's on the inside? Yeah. Okay. There we go. I feel like even with all of this, though, on frame 1, we've got the light. I feel like even underneath this, I'm going to do one more thing. New raster layer. We're going to take this gradient here. We're going to make the shape this way. We're going to do this. All right. We're actually going to have to invert that. So we'll go the other direction. You need to go the other direction. This is the simplest way to do this. All right. Now we'll make this multiply. Okay. So that's too dramatic, but we're getting there. All right, we'll keep. So now we know we kind of want this. Right? I don't know why it's not absolutely. I think what I want is more than this. That's what we're looking for. There. There. That's a good solid color. And that, I feel like, is good and solid, and everything works. Right? So there we go. All right. There we go. We have a page. Since it's the first page, it's going to take a long time. It does not take me 4 hours to do a page. But we had to set up the rigging. We had to set up the entire page. They're going to be like this through the entire thing. Okay. Perfect. Okay. I think we did it, guys. We got a page rolled out. I will, for the sake of argument, set this as this so we can post it. I don't know. Now I'm kind of pondering something. We look at this first frame, right? What if we were to take this first frame and make it bigger? This mask. It doesn't seem like I can edit this mask, right? Annoying. I'm sorry. Next question really is, should there be a tail coming off the left side? There probably should. So let's go ahead and put the tail in and then just put it right here. Right, coming off left side. Okay. There we go. Now I'm feeling better about this. Save. Save as. I'm going to save it as a Clip Studio format because I'm noticing that when I save it as a PSD with Photoshop, I'm losing my text abilities. The text formats don't translate back and forth. So that's kind of an issue. So we're still writing to this file. So we'll be waiting here for a minute or two, 7 or a lot. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Also, day after tomorrow is Lower Decks. So looking forward to that. Always a plus. So, okay, we have finished saving it as a Clip Studio file, which is fine. I don't think I'm going to be translating between Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint for comic pages. So, but we have made one comic page. Congratulations to us. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow. I think that tomorrow will be Watercolor Wednesday, so we should be able to hopefully have Pepper with us, hoping he's not, dead or something. So, actually, I know he's not dead, but he was pretty sick last week, so not looking forward to, So what I will probably do for Watercolor Wednesday is print this page out and paint it, and then get a different view on paint here. So we'll see how that happens. We'll see how that rolls up. Until then, I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, remember, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.
Computer, good night.